Okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never played Elder Scrolls Online. I know, it's a disaster. In fact, I only played Skyrim 2 years ago.
We're going to go to Bleak Falls Barrow.
Okay, I'm assuming... Oh, that's wait. I'm assuming there's a map. There's a map. I'm assuming... It's,
I'm just going to let this play out. This is fun to watch.
There's a map.
Yeah.
There's a there's a map. There's a map.
Yeah, there it is.
Right. Jeez, Bleak Falls wheelbarrow or some shit. Is that what it said?
So given the chance and a bit of persuasion from ESO themselves, I thought I'd hop on and, well, show you guys what's new within the game. The newest chapter of Elder Scrolls Online is called Gold Road. If you're a fan of rich storylines, epic battles, and much more immersive gameplay, you're not going to want to miss this. So I've jumped in around level 5 here, and I'm doing my first few missions as well. Fighting some baddies, gaining up XP, and really getting to grips with the game itself. Look, I was not really supposed to play this for too long, and I ended up playing for a couple days straight. I can see why people have always asked me to get into this. Gold Road offers 30 more hours of brand new story content, and this is one of the things that I did not understand, is the sheer amount of content within ESO. I mean, once again, I've only played a couple days worth, but I know people that have tens of thousands of hours on this thing, from side quests to main storyline missions, and so much richness in the lore. You can go into rooms and just find books lying about that will, if you can be bothered, read all of them. I mean, I think there's actually a video on YouTube of some lad reading entirety of the books within Skyrim. I would definitely recommend you guys going on watching that video. But it felt like the same. I just couldn't get enough of the lore behind this. And someone who was vaguely dabbled into the Elder Scrolls series, this was exciting for me. Not just that, but all the beasts that you could get your hands on. Okay, granted, you do get your first mount at level 10, which we will get on to, but because they were very nice to me and Elder Scrolls Online gave me a special version of their game, I got some cool beasts. I mean, look at this guy with the horns, and you got the fire one. I actually prefer the fire one. Or you got the gold one. It takes us back to the locations that we saw in Oblivion, continuing the storyline from the Necrom chapter. This new expansion introduces us to an intriguing character, Ithelia, a Daedric prince never seen before in the series. Not only this, but a groundbreaking new system called scribing has been introduced, allowing players to manipulate magic by collecting and customizing special skills. Through this, the player can tailor their builds and playstyles. You'll master scribing through dedicated quest lines, packed with new stories and characters. Lots of quests that we'll get onto in a little bit. By the way, the voice acting in this, I'd heard it was star-studded, the cast, but I didn't realize it was this star-studded. I mean, the first one that I noticed was the introduction, which was obviously voiced by Michael Gambon. I can hear Dumbledore from anywhere. I think that's probably one of my special skills. But Alfred Molina's within this, Bill Nye, Kate Beckinsale, Billy Boyd, yes, Fool of a Took is within this game himself, and John Cleese. Now, I heard John Cleese was actually on the roster, and I wanted to find out where he was. Well, eventually I did, and instantaneously felt the entirety of British comedy coming into my ears, and boy, did it feel like something special.
Sir Cadwell, yes, indeed, a pleasure. Best of luck. Do check in now and again, won't you?
Wandering around, you notice how much, well, content there is within the maps, but also how immersive it all is. Let's talk about some of the scenery, by the way. It all feels incredibly varied, and you have to travel between a lot of places, especially when you're doing side quests. There was times where I picked up side quests from one region, and then I'd move to another. I had to hop on about 30 million boats, but once I'd done my commuting, I got to see a ton of variation in areas, whether it's going up into the tree lands, or going out into fields, or even down into dungeons. One of my favorite, though, was going into this spooky crystal cave. It's actually one of the mainline missions where you meet John Cleese. And what I did notice is how gorgeous the music was in this. The music is composed by Brad Derrick. If anyone doesn't know, he has pretty much taken control of the entirety of, well, Elder Scrolls Online, creating music for all of them, and Dumb and Dumber 2. Yes, he wrote the music for the second Dumb and Dumber film. That's one of the strangest facts I've ever found. The Gold Road, as in the new storyline that's just been added in, will take you to Westweald. You'll face off against Wood Elves, invading Daedra, and uncovering the schemes of Ithilia's most devoted followers to protect Tamriel from the chaos. Additionally added in is a 12-player trial, the Lucent Citadel. The Luton Citadel introduces new PvE trials for 12 players in this long-forgotten Daedric vault with Fargave's wastes. Gather your mates together, you can conquer all these foes, you get loads of rewards from it and climb the leaderboards, unlocking the secrets of the mysterious arcane knot. There is so much here to offer, so make sure you go and click the link in the description if you want to go and check it out. Throughout the gameplay that I found, well, I go into dark secrets. There's lots of puzzles. The one with the moons, very confusing at first, and then I quickly realized I just had to trial and error it. We got through it pretty fast. It was absolutely fine. We discovered a plot for the queen to die. In fact, we managed to quell that plot by killing a load of people. And I want to talk about the combat a little bit within this game, because I think MMOs are famous for really focusing on huge expansive worlds, and combat sort of comes secondary. But if you've played something like Skyrim, you're kind of fit in quite well with how it works. I personally played with a bow as more of an assassin's character. I had some cool upgrades and skills, whether it's like a sniper shot or raining down volley of arrows upon my enemy, or using my blades and teleport swiping people. It was incredibly satisfying. The combat involves a lot of dodging. You can block and counter people. I actually didn't end up using a lot of the blocking. It didn't feel like all that necessary to me. Before my last mission, I had to go and find Michael Gambon, or the Prophet in this case. We go into the dark caves, and of course, a final battle is commenced against the Bone Man. The Bone Man was a pretty tricky one to take out. However, by this point, I'd kind of gotten used to the controls, and it made me feel like an absolute badass. Dodging, swiping, using all my abilities. I'd put a lot of upgrades into stamina, which is, well, where most of my ability strength came from, so I was able to spam them out a little bit. Now, I upgraded to level 10. This is where you get things like your first horse that you can ride around, and of course, unlocking dungeons and PvP gameplay. So that's what I'm going to be heading on to next. Dungeons, you're able to group up with a group of people. I think it puts you with 3 random people, or you can go with friends, and you can move through fighting certain enemies and completing certain dungeons as well. There are so many quests and storylines, and something has actually happened here that I didn't think would ever happen. When a company comes to me to sponsor a video, and well, I start playing it just with the intention of making enough content for said video. And then I don't stop, and I carry on, and then I find people to play with. And then I head into dungeon. It's got a little bit out of control, I'm going to be completely honest with you. So in fact, I'm going to be continuing to play Elder Scrolls Online, even when I'm not recording or making a sponsored video. If that's not a selling point for the new Gold Coast, I don't know what it is. I'm going to be honest. Right. I've got dungeons to do. I've just unlocked level 10. I'll be back, guys. I've got things to do. Stop. Oh, by the way, there's a really cool monkey. I love the creatures. They looked really cool.
Hermaeus Mora and the other betrayers approach. We have no time to waste with mortal nonsense. Warriors of Miramor, stand fast against Mora's minions. The staff of many paths was never meant for mortal hands.
We are at a crossroads and must choose our path wisely.
The devastated area is spawning dangerous beasts. Someone needs to answer for all this.
Hermaeus Mora cannot save you now!